The cheapest one is this.
Whoa!
Right?
Very good.
I'm a disgrace. I would never ever buy that.
Today we're talking about chocolate, from the world's most expensive brand down to some of the cheapest you can buy. What's the difference between all of them, and is it worth it? In the UK, we love chocolate more than drama about daytime TV presenters. Oh, Phil. We're the 7th largest consumer of chocolate in the entire world. We eat 8.1 kilograms each per year, which is 60% more than the European average. In fact, half of us eat chocolate every single week. Chocolate is a traditional food of Central America. The Olmec and Mayans have used it for thousands of years as ritual food. Archaeologists have also found evidence that we started processing cacao into chocolate around 5,000 years ago in Ecuador, right near the Amazon rainforest. That makes it older than David Attenborough. Well old. The brown chocolate that we all eat is actually made from cacao pods, which are these big yellow things. Inside they have these white slimy seeds that are taken out. They're then fermented, dried, roasted and ground into this brown paste. That's your raw cacao that can then be made into chocolate when you add some sweetener, sugar, milk, whatever it is. Scientists seem to think that cacao in its rawest form is actually quite good for us, that it's good for brain health and for cardiovascular system, in small amounts. At the other end of the scale, chocolate in its most processed form with lots of added sugars and other ingredients is linked to many health problems and overconsumption too. Chocolate production also comes with more baggage than the middle-aged divorcee on Hinge whose profile says no drama. I don't want to put you off your fruit and nut, but a lot of cheap chocolate is actually sourced from places where there are quite dodgy labour practices, sort of like child slavery. On the other hand, in recent years, we've seen a big shift towards more sustainable and ethical sourcing, with brands such as Tony's Chocolonely pledging to eradicate slavery from their supply chain. And then brands like Toac are doing that's upside down. And then at the other end of the scale, Toac are doing incredible work to preserve the genetics of the oldest cacao trees in the entire world. And it also costs up to £8,000 per kilogram. So the products we're testing are Tesco Bold and Velvety 74% dark chocolate, which is £1.10 for 100 grams, which makes it £11 per kilogram. And then we've got Green and Black 70% intense dark chocolate, which is £2 for 90 grams, which makes it £22.22 per kilogram. And then we've got Bare Bones 70% single origin Madagascan chocolate, which is £5.99 for 70 grams, which makes it £85.57 per kilogram. And then we've got Toac Rain Harvest 2018 74% dark chocolate. This is £30 for 50 grams, which makes it £600 per kilogram. And that's the cheapest chocolate in their range. It goes up to £400 for a single pack. So when it comes to price, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. What else are we gonna do? You might be surprised to learn that chocolate has a surprisingly high environmental impact. Poor and Nemechek's 2018 meta-analysis of food types showed that chocolate has 46 kilograms of CO2 equivalent attached to every kilogram of chocolate produced. That's very similar to some animal-based products such as eggs, which are 42 kilograms of CO2 equivalent per kilogram. However, the dose makes the poison. We eat chocolate in very small amounts quite rarely, whereas things like eggs are often eaten on a daily basis and in larger quantities. However, there are more pressing issues when it comes to chocolate production. Two things in particular. 70% of the world's chocolate comes from the Ivory Coast in West Africa, and there's been evidence that there's illegal deforestation to grow chocolate in that area. But secondly, there's also been evidence that there's child illegal labour in the chocolate supply chain from that part of the world. On the other hand, chocolate that comes from Latin America, like these two, is very unlikely to be linked to either of those things. When it comes to scoring on sustainability, then the more traceable the product, then the more sustainable it's going to be. So that means that Toac gets 4 points, Bare Bones gets 3, Green and Black's 2, and Tesco 1. When it comes to health and nutrition, we really don't need to worry about the specific macros of different types of chocolate. However, there is one important difference between these 4 products. This one here is an ultra-processed food, whereas none of these ones are. That's because good chocolate is simply made from cacao beans with sugar added. This only has 2 ingredients. This one has, I think, 6 ingredients. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this one has 6 ingredients, including sunflower emulsifier and flavorings. Green and Black's has 4 ingredients, which are cocoa, cocoa butter, sugar, and vanilla extract. Bare Bones has cocoa, cocoa butter, and sugar, and Toac has just cacao and sugar. That only gets 1 point, that gets 2 points, that gets 3 points, and Toac gets 4 points. So last up is the big taste test. Which one really tastes better? Now, if you're watching my TikToks, you'll know that I'm doing a no ultra processed food challenge where I'm not going to eat any ultra processed foods for 30 days. Now, that's not gone very well, to be honest. However, I'm not supposed to eat this one and I have the choice not to here. So I'm not going to eat that one. Luckily, I saw some friends at the weekend, so I asked them to do the taste test for me. But I can try these three. Let's start with green and blacks. So the way to taste chocolate is you put it on your tongue and you let it melt and then you see what it tastes like. Rich, it's zingy, it's almost like a metallic zing to it. Quite full-bodied, tastes good. Bare bones. That's got a much lighter flavour. It's not as strong and bold as the green and blacks is. And green and blacks does say it's intense after all. I would like to say it's a more complex flavour, but I'm not entirely sure that it is. It's just a more delicate, refined flavour. So onto the biggie. Onto the Toac. That's probably about £5 worth, by the way. I don't know if it's because of the order that I did them, but that has such a mild flavour compared to the others. Maybe if you're a connoisseur, that's really good, I'm not sure. However, my initial impression is that is best, then that, and then that. Let's try another bit of this. Another £3. It's more expensive than having a drug habit. Hi Mum, I've taken up crack because it was cheaper than chocolate. The flavour in that is so mild and delicate, honestly, you barely experience it. But the big question is, what's that one like? Over to the others.
See, I think that didn't taste cheap.
It does taste cheap. It's like sucking a Lego cube. I don't know who this Lego is, but the poor bastard now.
I actually like that. I'm not big on dark chocolate, but I actually like it.
It's bitter. It's not a lot of sugar, I feel.
Less entertaining. Like less fun.
Waxier.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't have the consistency of chocolate that I normally like. I like the first one more.
I think this one's the most spicy, so whatever. Yeah.
I really like it.
I'm quite subtle, I don't hate that.
Number 3 to me doesn't taste like anything. It seems like a waste of a box. No, sorry, number 3. Quite nice actually. I didn't mind them. Oh.
If everything's nice to you, your dinner with John.
How was your day?
This melts.
Yeah,
this one definitely melts.
Melts really nicely, much better than the two.
I like the first one's taste more. This melts better.
I like this one more.
Alright. Oh, I love this game.
Yeah, I like number 4 one more than number 3.
Oh yeah. 2's bullshit. 3 is a bit dead. 1 was alright, but I would go for 4.
Yeah, 4. See, I agree, but I'm worried I'm being peer pressured into it.
This one melts well as well.
Yeah.
But I feel less flavorful. I don't know what this means, but I feel like this tastes of nothing after having it. And I'm letting it melt.
Right, pints of a palate cleanser.
It's too sweet.
Tupperware box number 3 didn't taste like a whole lot of anything, to be honest.
I thought that had some depth. That's really sweet.
It's quite sweet, yeah, which might suggest it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, I think
It's a little bit sweeter, so number 3.
Are you on 3?
Number 3.
If I wasn't waiting for you guys, I'd be on my second way round by now. I think 2 is good.
Really?
Yeah, 2's nice. But I am a child, so...
Stick to the northern line.
The cheapest one is this.
Right? Very good.
That's Tesco's dark 70% chocolate. That's £1 for 100 grams, or £1.10 for 100 grams.
Really good value. Get to Tesco.
I am a disgrace. I would never ever buy that.
Yeah, same here.
Second cheapest is this, which is green and blacks.
Oh, is that green and black?
That's green and
I
blacks.
would never have known that.
And that is £2 for 90 grams, so it's roughly double the cost of this one. This is green and blacks, 70%.
Yeah.
This one's £2 for 90 grams, so it's
Good, yeah,
£2.20 per kilo. Third most expensive is this one.
Yeah, I like this one.
It's a bean to bar, it's £6 for 90 grams. Okay,
You could get some good stuff
yeah.
for that.
and that's £6 for 90 grams.
What?
Yeah.
I did like that.
I did like that, but if that is one.
Are you about to tell us the most expensive is the one that I just did not like?
And this one is the most expensive, and that costs £60
60!
for 100 grams.
Not worth it.
And this one is the most expensive. That's from Harrods. That costs 30 quid for 50 grams. That's £600 a kilo, that one.
That tastes like bugger all. That one's the winner.
So in blind taste testing, everyone agreed that the Tesco's tasted best, which, I mean, I don't want to admit it, but that's what they said. So Tesco gets 4 points, Green and Blacks gets 3 points, Barebones gets 2 points, and Toak only gets 1 point, which means this is a draw. Now, normally there would be a fifth category, which is convenience. However, all of these are precisely the same in terms of convenience, which I think means that if you can afford it, good chocolate is worth paying for. But if you can't, this stuff tastes really good. After doing the taste test, people were asking me, why was this one our favourite? This one's been engineered to taste good, whereas this one is basically just bare cacao and not much else. So if you're a connoisseur, definitely go for this end. If you've not got much to spend, you're gonna really enjoy eating this. I mean, what else do I say? I think that's about it. I mean,